how to get better results from your team members, people that you're employing. So a lot of times people will say, I spend this much, but I don't know if I'm getting a return. I don't feel like this person's actually producing a return on investment. Business owners also tell me they don't feel like people care about the business like they do as the owner. And they wonder, is it even possible for these people to take ownership and really treat it and like take that ownership and responsibility and accountability? So here's the deal. Entrepreneurship can feel incredibly lonely, even if you have a team of people surrounding you. You might have the best friends and the best spouse and a phenomenal team, but it can still feel really lonely. And one of the things that can really hurt is when you feel like you're carrying this backpack full of bricks and you're climbing up this mountain. And then you look over and you've got a team member that's like, hey, here's mine. Could you carry mine too? Right? Or you're constantly like micromanaging what's going on. You want somebody to say to you, you look like you have a lot on your plate. Let me help you take that off. And a lot of times that isn't happening in business. But I will say, I feel like I'm very fortunate to say in my business, my team is truly helping. They want the accountability. They want the ownership. They want the responsibility. It didn't magically happen. We've done things specifically to get them there. And today I'm going to share with you 3 tips in helping you figure out what that looks like. So number 1 is sharing the vision and how they impact the vision. So instead of just saying we're trying to hit 500 clients or we're trying to hit $750,000 in revenue, like you're acting like it's this big business goal. But what happens is you want to make sure they know, why are we doing that? What happens when we do this, right? What does that look like? So for me, I'm not just talking money, but I'm sharing what that money looks like. So when I say I want to have a $10 million a year business, I'm going to say to my team, that means we're going to serve on average about 700 new well-oiled operations clients over the next 12 months. And you know what that means? That we're going to help families make positive changes. We're going to get mom back eating dinner with her family every night. We're going to get dad home from the weekends and not working in the office 24/7. We're literally going to change marriages because mom or dad isn't that stressed out anymore, right? They're feeling the relief in their business and it's positively impacting their relationship. Like children are going to get to actually spend time with both their parents, right? So when we talk like that and we share examples, they're like, wow, like we do something really cool here. Now, take it one step further. What are they specifically doing that plays a part in the vision? How are they individually impacting that person? And sometimes you maybe don't know. I want you to dig deep. And I want, when you see it, I want you to acknowledge it. I want you to say something, right? So if we just had one of our coaches have a really great number of like wins, testimonials, things like that last week. And it was like one after another of her clients saying, yes, I'm getting an ROI. I'm getting to spend time with my children. I'm doing this. And for us to stop and say, okay, maybe her key performance indicator, her metric was trying to get 10 wins that week, right? And she's like, okay, I hit 10 wins. And it's like, no. You changed 10 people's lives, right? You literally had this person who's been working 80 hours a week work 40. And she got to see her son play soccer, which she never gets to do, right? When you can tie into it, it just feels so much more powerful than like, let's hit 700,000, let's hit 1.5, let's hit 5, right? And they're like, okay, you're going to make all this money, but they don't see how they're being impacted, right? So how do you get their buy-in in the vision? Number 2, let them share in the perks. So when they hear Stacy wants to make 10 million, right? Of course, there are expenses. I'm not putting $10 million in my bank account, okay? There are expenses, there are taxes, there's a lot of things involved. But why do they care about me hitting that number? They don't. So what can you do? Help them set up their own individual goals. And then my favorite thing is, how can you commission or bonus those goals? So when we have a record month, I know that my team has had a record month of commissions and bonuses. So they get excited when we grow. If I'm the only one benefiting from those numbers, yeah, of course it's going to be like, you do that. Like I'm not working on a Saturday. Not that we have people working a Saturday, but you know what I'm saying? If an emergency pops up, or we've made a mistake and a client is emailing and somebody happens to get it, I want them to say, oh my goodness, I'll fix this for them, right? So how do we get buy-in? How do we get them excited about it? And when you let them almost get a little piece of what feels like their own mini business, right? Where they're like building a business inside of yours, they will act as if it's their business. They will act like they are the owner of their department, of their role. And that's what you want. Right now, they're not getting any piece of that. Okay. Now, I'm not saying profit sharing, that's different. I love commissions and bonuses based off of performance. Okay. Another tip here to really get them going is showcase a leaderboard, have certain contests, let people know who the winner is this week. Like, what does that look like? And it will spark a healthy competition and get the team moving. And number 3, and this is by far the biggest one, is holding the team accountable. All right. So we do this in 2 ways. Number 1, we are assigning specific tasks on a weekly basis. And every Monday, we look back at last week's tasks and we can see who owned it and what's the status. Are they done? Is it not completed? Are they stuck? Did they not mark anything? Right? That's massive. We have weekly accountability. Now, if you're inside of Well-Oiled, if you're one of our clients, remember, we have our KPI spreadsheet. We have our weekly tasks. All of that is inside as one of our templates. So make sure to use that so you're not starting from scratch. Okay. Speaking of KPIs. So every Monday, the team also checks last week's key performance indicators. So everybody on the team has 3 to 5 KPIs. And those numbers tell us, how are they doing? It tells them, they fill it out themselves. So every Friday when they're filling it out, they're like, check, I'm winning. Wait a minute, why is this number so low? I got to do something about this, right? They take ownership of their numbers. When they have to report versus me filling it out, when they have to write it in, sometimes they're even justifying, just so you know, you're going to see this, but here's what happened, and, right? It's like they're bringing that information to the table. So holding them accountable by a project management software, huge, and also by key performance indicators. This is going to get people understanding what they are responsible for. I always say it's like the board game. It's like the directions in a board game, right? If we pulled out Monopoly and there were no instructions and you had never heard of this game before, you would be like, what in the world am I supposed to do? Right? And when I give you the directions, you then feel like you're cheating. Like it's just so much easier. You want to give them the directions. You want to give them the instructions before they begin so they know what winning looks like on your team. All right. One thing I want you to know is I'm going to be doing a live training on Monday called Protect Your Profit. Even if you've seen it before, I have recently updated the training and the materials, and I think you're really going to enjoy it. In fact, I'm going to be talking about how we get our team members to 2, 3, 4x their annual salary. If you are settling for your employees, your team to break even, to lose money, maybe you don't even know what they're recouping, this is going to be a good training for you. You can go to welloiledoperations.com/class. It is a free 60-minute training. In full transparency, I'll be around for 90 minutes doing more Q&A and things like that. But if you're in and out in 60 minutes, you're going to hear everything you need to hear. And it's really how we keep our profit margins so high and how I am not working more than 40 hours a week. So I have 2 multiple 7-figure businesses and I'm working less than 40 hours per week every week. If you want to see how I'm doing that, come join me. welloiledoperations.com/class, or you can DM me on Instagram, the word profit, and I'll send you all of the details. I'll see you there.